Welcome Aries to your in-depth monthly forecast for January 2025 for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. I'm going to provide some standout details particularly relevant to you to begin with. Please stay with me, then on screen I'll share the event chart right at the start of the month and the year. That provides some important information to guide us. Then, as influences feed in, I'll go through each of those frame by frame to explore them and give you a clear understanding of what January 2025 holds for you. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell, wishing you all the best for year 2025. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining me. This is very much a community. If you have any thoughts, please do share them. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, we have found that 50% of people who regularly watch my videos are not subscribers. Please help the channel to thrive. Click that sub button, but also the bell notification symbol. Also, please like and share my videos too. If you'd like to order your year 2025 personal forecast based on your unique birth data, if you order in 24 you'll get the rest of the year free. In 25 you'll get a full 12 months from the time of the order. You'll also get my free gift of your zodiac, general, love, Chinese and Vedic forecast, as well as 30% off and your life roadmap report. Your life roadmap report is particularly influential because this helps you to understand the patterns that have played out in your life so far. The forecast helps you to time your moves, because knowing when the planets are helping or perhaps resisting your efforts is a critical feature of working with astrology. If you'd like to order from a whole sign perspective, a solar perspective if you don't know your time, draconic perspective if you'd like your soul perspective, please see the links below for more. Also, if you'd like to have a one-to-one with me, I am a consulting astrologer. Please check out my testimonials below and you can read exactly what people have said. I don't edit these at all. So Aries, the big takeouts for you for January concerns your ruler Mars. Mars is retrograde as you come into this new year. It's also in a face-off with the power planet Pluto. That peaks on the 3rd. That's a big deal. I need to unpack that for you. But on the 6th, Mars inverts from Leo back into the feline sign of Cancer. It's going to be there through to the 18th of April, but it is also going to continue its retrograde all through this month. I will share about that as well. But on the 13th, the full moon sees Mars in the picture, and that can create a certain volatility on that particular full moon. Yet as the month goes on, Mars actually forges two very positive links to both Uranus and Neptune. I'll unpack those for you as well. But by the end of the month and the Aquarius new moon of the 29th, a much more social and future orientated influence starts to develop in your situation. Now on the screen now, I'm sharing your event chart right at the start of the month. As ever, we need to be mindful of the two luminaries. And on the 30th of December, there was a new moon in the sign of Capricorn. So you can see the moon is separating from that new moon, and at 23 degrees forges a perfect link with Uranus, suggesting when it comes to setting your intentions for the new year around work, you perhaps do need to be open-minded. There could also be some changes around your financial situation that you choose, and the reason for that is Venus. Venus is in the part of your chart to do with plotting your long-term future, the sign of Aquarius, but it's also about your associations. If there are certain people that you're working with, networking with, that don't quite match who you want to be, you may want to break free of those because of Venus's square to Uranus. So that need to stay very open-minded that the moon and Uranus emphasize is something to hold dear. But Saturn, the planet of limitation but also of harsh lessons, does still reside at the start of this year in your 12th house. It's going to be there through to the 26th of May. It will move for 3 months and 7 days through to the end of August into your sign. which can be like a new epoch, or certainly the start of one, but it starts this year in a tense right angle with Jupiter, which peaked on the 24th of December. What this is saying is that whatever you're thinking about at the start of this year, you need to know why you're thinking about it. Understanding your deeper motivations and those of others is critical, particularly with Pluto and Mars in that very tense opposition as this year begins. But what I would say is the North Node, which is coming to the end of its journey through your sign and won't be back for another 17 years, that actually forges a stunning link to your ruler as this year begins. So if you have the confidence to really follow the instincts that your senses are priming up for you, if you have that confidence to follow those in a decisive way, it could turn out to be a very successful year for you. But as I mentioned, by the 3rd, Mars and Pluto reach the peak of that opposition. They last reached that peak on the 18th of November, but then they were in 2 different signs. Having Mars in your sign is very much about showcasing your charisma, your talent, your personality power. It could be that someone in your network is going to resist you, perhaps because of that square between Venus and Uranus. So there could be some shifts in terms of your future direction, particularly if you feel that you're not able to be quite yourself. The positive thing about the 3rd is that Mercury ends a post-retrograde shadow which began in the middle of December. So if there have been some tangles around contractual or travel or distribution issues, they can start to be resolved. But when it comes to relationships, with Venus moving to join up with Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house, also on the 3rd, and to be honest, meeting Saturn on the 19th of this month, if there is any kind of relationship, professional, personal, friendship, family tie, that has been a little strained, you're going to have to look at it in quite a deep way. That can be aided in a way by, on the 6th, Mars moving into Cancer, because that's about your sense of security, but it can make you protective and perhaps a little bit prickly, particularly whilst it remains in retrograde through to February the 24th. But on the 8th, Mercury moves out of the sign of Sagittarius and climbs to the top of your chart. If you are switching things around when it comes to your goals and ambitions, you may consider some retraining or repurposing old skills in a new and fresh way, because that open-mindedness is going to be important. In fact, there may be parts of your past experience that you can tap into once the true nodal axis shifts on the 11th. The North Node, the point of destiny, moves into Pisces, and the South moves into Virgo. But they're going to be impacted throughout the year by both Saturn and Neptune. So if you're someone who tends to be a little bit protective about looking at fears, anxieties, or reflecting on your past, you may find that one way or another, Saturn and Neptune will be asking you to do so this year. The 13th sees the full moon in Cancer. Balancing that classic work-life scenario could be challenging. If you're trying to make progress in a new job or career or your own business, the needs of people close to you may be to the fore, particularly with Mars so close to the full moon. That can be quite a turbulent mix, to be honest. So over the next couple of weeks, things can feel intense and unsettled, either at home or at work, because you don't feel very comfortable with the people that you're collaborating with. But on the 19th, the Sun moves into the sign of Aquarius, which is really good for you. Even if you have been working out who's with you and who's not with you, you're going to find by the 21st who truly is all in. In fact, even by the 29th, because Mercury is going to move into the sign of Aquarius on the 28th, and the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th is conjunct both Mercury and Pluto. If ever there was a time to reset your longer term plan, this is certainly it, particularly with Uranus, the modern ruler of Aquarius, going direct on the 30th. But I just would like to flag up to you that Mars, even though it is very tender, does give you the chance in Cancer to catch up on any do-it-yourself tasks, or if you're looking to get some contractors in to achieve things. And it does forge a very constructive link to Uranus in the last 2 weeks of this month. Again, being open-minded about your approach will really help you, but also your compassion can be emphasized, or there may be someone you're going to draw closer to towards the end of this month, and it could be a surprise person, but it may be someone that you already know, someone you're familiar with, or someone in your family, but this person can be very reassuring. So even if it does feel that there's lots of change at the start of this year, I think by the end of the first month you are going to be much clearer about what you want to do, what you need to do, but critically how you're going to go about delivering that progress. Have a great month, and do check out your year 2025 deep dive video by clicking on the link underneath this one.